ever do to you?
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Pikachu!
It's the fairy!
She always ruins it.
Nothing is ruined.
Okay, now we can fix this, but you've got to let me help you.
Oh.
My grandmother always says that
When God closes a door, he opens a window.
sometimes
You have to take a leap of faith.
No!
Hey guys, I'm supposed to have a mask on, but since I'm in the hospital, I'm gonna do this story time for you guys of how my ex, well, it's an ex now, but how my boyfriend at the time, obviously ex now, how he became abusive. So our relationship was going fine after the whole scandal. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go back and watch my story times. And then I think it was like 3 months down the line, this boy started to show signs of being abusive. Like, we'll argue and then there's certain things that he would say. And obviously you guys already know me. I always put my hands up when I'm in the wrong. Like, I never defend myself. Like, when I mean, like, obviously when we argue, you say things that you don't mean. But then it got to one day when this nigga actually gave me the dirtiest slap of my life. And I'm like, huh? And I'm thinking, before I even carry on the story, please, no matter what it is, I do not tolerate or I do not support abusive behavior, right? Whether from the female or the male. Don't do that. I believe you can communicate with your words and it doesn't need to get physical.
To all the girls out there looking for another reason why they should leave their abusive boyfriend, I wrote this song just for y'all, and I really want y'all to listen to this.
I know it's hard, he left you scarred, he hurt and bruised you. You played your part right from the start, he still abused you. Can't take it back, I know it hurts, not what you're used to. Pick up your head, lift up your crown, leave with a new you. You're 1 in a million.
What did I ever do to you?
Loving me harder, missing me. Don't be afraid to go farther. Maybe I was born insane. I got unicorns on my mind.
Reading crazy-ass text messages from my psychotic abusive ex-boyfriend, part 4. Why did you take so much luggage, Rachel? I freaking told you not to. I have shit to take back. I'm pissed about that. TFN, do what I tell you and you fucking ignored me. I brought a suitcase and a backpack and a purse, which will be in the floorboard in front of me, so... Quote, so... Quit now. Not doing it. So, mail your shit home. I told you not to, though, so if you're not gonna accept that, I call the shots on a marriage, then this won't work. The purse and backpack go in the floorboard in front of me, and all I have in the back is a suitcase. Check mark. Okay. Once again, at least pretend to like me. I told you if you didn't want to see me to let me know and I would have canceled the flight. There's a way to address something without being an ass about it. I'm tired of telling you that. You overruled what I told you, so don't tell me how to act. I didn't overrule anything. I brought the same amount of shit I would have brought if I would have gone down there with you. At least apologize or say something. You're in the fucking wrong. Be accountable sometimes. Don't always have a comeback. You're wrong. I offered to bring your shit and you said you'd only take 1 suitcase. STFU. You're wrong here. I only brought 1 suitcase. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. Suitcase, backpack, and purse. You're a piece of shit. I'll address my issues with you in Dallas. The suitcase can't fit in front of me in the car, so it's not a big deal. It's what I would have brought if we drove. I hate being your third parent. Grow up. You have absolutely no reason nor the right to speak to me the way you have been at all. You're not my third parent. You're mad because I brought the same shit I would have brought had I have gone Saturday. this is less than I brought last time. With all due respect, you have a lot of issues with authority and attitude problems for someone who has a lot of red flags. You're picking for reasons to be pissed. Authority with what, Marcus? I brought the same shit I would've. And who is the authority I have an issue with? Who is the authority over me? I'm an adult. I have an issue with being talked to like shit and hurt. I shot a buck, asshole. I have to take a huge ice chest. So was I not supposed to bring a bag? I told you I was bringing a suitcase, and you said one suitcase, and that is exactly what I brought. I'll deal with this in Dallas. I think I'm just feeling like I'm parenting you and not always lovey-dovey as I have been in other relationships. If you're gonna ruin my Christmas because you can't talk to me the way I deserve to be spoken to, let me know. I would rather spend it with my family than listen to the person I love completely degrade me. I can find the next flight out. There's nothing to parent me about. You're mad because what? I brought a suitcase? Like I said I was? Like you said I could? The backpack and the purse both fit in the floorboard in front of me, and you know that. You're just looking for a reason to be mad. How's the flight? Pretty shitty. Considering the first red flag I noticed was that the only wall decor he had was a Texas flag, this is a really bold text for him to send.
You want a bad bitch, baby, now you have it. Now you got a bad bitch, show it.
Two indications that you're involved in a relationship that's being dictated by narcissism and codependency are: 1, you find yourself chronically needing to conform to the pressures of your partner's emotional demands, and 2, you often feel the need to prove your worthiness to them when they challenge you and thereby win their approval. If this is the case, I'd like you to consider how this dynamic is weighing on you day in and day out.
Do you have ADHD and the abusive relationships are so real inside of your life? Well, let's talk about it, because low-key, very, very deep down, you kind of like it. And it's not okay. So when it comes to ADHD, we need to talk about the ideas that we are dopamine deficient. And if you have never seen another video that I've done before, you will hear me say many times that dopamine controls what you're thinking about, how you're thinking about it, and your morality behind what is right or wrong towards that subject. Unfortunately, when it comes to dopamine, there is no morality of right or wrong. So when we get into arguments, when we get into physical altercations, when we get into this feeling of anger and excitement and aggression, it's giving us dopamine. And this is the annoying part, is when we don't find this in other places. When we are dopamine deficient, when we live an untreated ADHD life, we can actually find this in anger. We can find this in resentment. We can find this in physical strain in very bad ways. We need to realize this and choose our partners.
Who date men? What's the strangest thing a guy has done when you wanted to leave him?
I have a great one for this. So my ex-boyfriend, who was the first guy I ever lived with, we were together for almost a year. I was already head-ass, like, out of the relationship in my mind for like 3 months. He was very toxic and very immature, and he treated me like I was his maid. Anyway, when I went to leave, he threatened to kill himself, and then I told him that that would just be a problem for him, and I'm really sorry, but I can't do this anymore. Then he got down on his hands and knees in front of my friends and was crawling towards me, begging me to stay with him. He was a 6'7" man who was 23 years old doing this. And he was crying and begging me to stay with him, telling me that he was going to kill himself if I left. He was also telling me that he was going to throw anything I left behind to the curb for the trash to take if I left. He was a really horrible person.
I look into your eyes, it is like paradise. I'm gonna be there next to you.
Emergency, which service do you require? Fire, police or ambulance? Are you in danger? Can you make a sound? If you can't speak, dial 55. I understand. I'm putting you through to the police now.
You're through to the police. We're trying to trace your location so we can send help straight away. We hear you. You are not alone.
Oh my god, I can't even, you know why I hate myself? Because I can't fucking talk to you, ever! I want to talk to you. I want to be able to say shit to you. Hunter? But I feel fucking insane every time I try to. And I hate making you feel like the bad guy because you're genuinely not.
Laugh out loud.
Myth. All narcissists will freak out if you leave them. Fact. All narcissists are human beings and behave differently. If you tell the narcissist you're leaving, they might promise to change, promise to go to therapy, promise to stop drinking, promise to stop doing drugs, promise to go to rehab, beg and apologize, tell you that they'll be lost without you, telling you that no one else will want to be with you, threaten suicide, tell you that you're abandoning them, threaten to take custody of the children, threaten to leave you with nothing, suddenly be really nice, recruit others to ask you to take them back, suddenly taking care of things that you've been complaining about forever, behaving in self-destructive ways to make you worry, starting a new relationship to make you jealous, a smear campaign to try to humiliate you, get you pregnant, stalk you, trash your house or your car, threaten to kill you, block and ignore you, or insisting that
being abused, I thought that I was being strong with a complicated person. And that was kind of what was being fed to me, you know, and then I think I was already mad and I was already alone. This person made me feel like we were gonna go on this great adventure of freedom and, you know, experimentation, and it was very, very far from that. It was the opposite of freedom. I think domestic violence is so normalized, and was normalized to me that I couldn't see a crime being committed when it was being committed. I just didn't know. I was so young. I didn't know, you know, that you could be raped by your partner. And even if I did know that, I don't think I would have thought that anybody would ever believe me, because how do you prove that? Part of the conditioning when you're in that relationship is believing that it's your fault and that you've done something to deserve this. What people don't tell you is there's a period where everything's fine, you know, or seemingly fine, and this person's treating you like a princess, and they're grooming you, and they're making you, they're luring you into this, you know, illusion of safety and stability. And if you're already kind of an angry, lonely kid, that just reinforces kind of everything you're already feeling. They present themselves as the savior, and then something happens, and it's shocking, and you feel like, what happened? This person that I love that's so nice just did this, and it was so out of character. It must have been me. I must have done this. If I hadn't had acting, and I think one of the reasons why I was so good at it was because I didn't have any other way to let out feelings or emotion. And if I did, it was on myself. I sort of gave up autonomy over my body and my image and my wants, and just tailored them to whoever I was with, because that's what I was sort of trained to do. And so you start to go, okay, but what about me? Like, what about who I am, and what about what I want? And I think because I did well in my career, no one wanted to hear about my problems, and so I kept them all in. That then sort of segued into much more dangerous self-destructive behavior later.